Tom, social media is going crazy, calling out for you and maybe some of the other Spider-Men to host the Oscars. Have you been approached? Would you do it? What about you and Mark even doing it together?
I'm not doing that.
I know that if we did it together...
Not that I'm not doing it with Tom, I'm just not doing that.
Do you know what? It would be a huge honor, but unfortunately, I don't have time. I don't have time to do it to the capacity that I would like to do it. You know, if I was gonna do something as big as that, I would really like to take the time to make sure I got it right. But I just unfortunately don't have time.
Congratulations on the success of Spider-Man. It must feel pretty amazing to have got everybody back into theaters.
Yeah, I mean, it's a huge honor, you know. I think Marvel and Sony and, you know, of course, John Watts, our sort of captain of the ship, have done an incredible job of, you know, putting this film together, you know, sort of having an end to the chapter of this character and also celebrating 3 generations of cinema. You know, having Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and myself come together was always a concept that felt impossible, but the fact that they were able to pull it off and do it in such a tasteful way was really awesome. And the fact that our film seemingly sort of brought cinemas back to life is a huge honor.
Oh, crap! Come on! So, wow. I mean, so many amazing stunts. You're both action veterans, so who learned from who?
Well, I would have to say that I'm a bit more of a veteran than Tom. I wouldn't call him a novice, but he is a bit new at it. I mean, no, well, you know, after 3 Spider-Mans in this movie, he's done his fair share of action, but I still feel like he's just now entering his physical prime, and there is another 15 to 20 years to go.
Sully, hurry!
It's gonna take a little longer than I thought, kid.
I just hope he starts to, you know, really set the standard just a little bit higher, start challenging Tom Cruise to do all of these things in real time, as opposed to, I don't want to see any wires, cables, nothing. And I think he can do it.
All right, challenge accepted, mate. I can give it my best.
But yeah, he's very, very capable. It's impressive to see. And you know, for me, I'm lucky enough to be able to have done it all, and you know, now embracing my getting a little bit older, and now playing the elder statesman who's much more savvy in trying to use different ways to avoid, you know, expending any extra energy. You know, that's why I loved always complaining about different ailments throughout the movie and letting him kind of go off and handle all the physicality.
I just want to clear this up. Who's 5'9" and who's 5'8"?
I'm 5'10" and he's 5'6".
If Tom's 5'10", then I'm 6'1". He could have another growth spurt. He's only, you know, how old are you now, 25?
I'm just halfway through puberty, honestly. I am a late bloomer, trust me.
Tom, what was the best part of this partnership? I can see you two obviously had a lot of fun during filming.
I think it's our relationship, you know, our back and forth banter. It is really the heart and soul of this movie is, you know, the relationship between these 2 characters. So when do we start?
Yeah, put that in your ear.
Hello? Hello?
I can hear you, I'm sitting right next to you.
And, you know, our relationship off screen was very similar. You know, we were kind of partners in making this film. I think it's no secret when you watch the film that it was obviously very demanding for both of us to make. So for me, one of the best parts of this film was us getting to work together. And, you know, I've been a big fan of Mark's for a very, very long time. So it was nice to get to work with him.
Mark, you are known for your hardcore workouts, these early morning workouts. So did you get Tom up like extra early in the morning and put him through his paces?
I didn't. You know, he and I were on a little bit of a different schedule. I'd be getting back, you know, as soon as I could back to the hotel, just kind of call my family. We're on, you know, different time zones. So I would get up super early, and then he'd kind of come into the gym after. But you know, he was always super fit and ready to go.
Tom, were you surprised by, I mean, you obviously work out hard, but what about Mark's workouts? Anything stun you with how hard he trains?
I mean, you're kind of the pioneer of fitness in the world of Hollywood, but for me, it was a very different kind of training. Like, I've always trained for agility. You know, Spider-Man is about being flexible and all that sort of stuff. And when I first sat down with Mark, when we started prepping to shoot the film, I realized how much smaller I was. So my goal for this film was to put on as much size as I could. So it was a very different kind of training. You know, I probably wasn't as fit as I should have been in a sort of cardiovascular sense, but in terms of strength It's the strongest I've ever been. So it was a different type of training to what I'm used to, but I really, really enjoyed it, and the benefits have been fantastic.
Do you play video games? Obviously, this movie, huge video game. Is that something you do with your family, Mark?
I don't. I have such an addictive personality that I just can't. I mean, I had a couple of games that I would play on my phone on the set to kill time, but even then I'd be focusing more on that than I would my job. So, and I'm trying to keep my kids off of the video games. I allowed them to play more during the pandemic. And obviously it's still a very real thing, but now that they're back in school, I've had them cut back a lot.
How about you, Tom? Are you a video gamer at all?
It's interesting. We had a very similar upbringing. My parents, were very strict on us. Like, the video games was a weekend thing. But, growing up, I definitely was a big fan of video games. I've always been an outdoorsy person. I love to be outside. If you give me 6 hours off, I'll find something outside to go and do. But, if I'm in my trailer, if I'm waiting for someone to set something up on set, I'll be sitting there on the PlayStation, banging along. So I do enjoy the occasional gaming session, yeah.
Hey Tom, you'll appreciate this. My two sons now, who were kind of obsessed with video games, are playing golf, both of them, 7 days a week. They're taking lessons.
7 days a week.
They're practicing in the backyard, then they're going to either Van Nuys night golf or going to play with me at various places. It's the greatest thing that ever happened.
Yeah, that must be amazing for you as a dad, no? That must be like heaven.
The best. The best.
Because I know
a golf lover as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad the other day, I went out and played with myself, my brother Sam, my brother Harry, and my dad, and we played a scramble, and you could see like the pride in my dad. Like, I held this like 50-foot putt to halve the match, and he, I've achieved a lot in my life, but holding that putt, it looked like that's what he was most proud of.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.